Address, please.
Okay, Mikhail Barnett, and I'm at 925 East, 1751 West, North Ogden, Utah. That's a mouthful. Okay, I want to start by thanking the members of the council and the mayor for being here today, because do this. I don't really look like a typical pageant girl to most people, and I talk more than a pageant girl probably, but I'm doing this for me, and I'm doing this because I could use this experience, and because I kind of feel like the pageant is about like finding confidence in yourself, to stand on stage by yourself and to make a difference by yourself, and that's kind of why I just truly think that, you know, a lot of people feel that when they hear beauty pageant, they think of a face. And they don't really think of what it really is. It's like inside. It's more of you know, the beautiful things you do. And so I can also remember being a little girl when I was 7 years old, because I grew up here, and watching the North Ogden parade and seeing all the Miss North Ogdens and Charity's girls standing on float and waving and always wanting to be one. Always. I mean, I don't think any girl never dreamed of that. That's just obviously something that every girl wants to be, is a beauty queen. And so I would just hope that maybe you could find it in your hearts to reconsider and not crush little girls' dreams. I think this pageant is important, and it's such a tradition, and I would really love to see it.
The people in the city wants to have a beauty pageant that's privately funded, and that would never even become an issue here.
3446 North East. I just was a casual observer today, but I just wanted to, are we done with that? Is that what we're saying here? Is that we don't care anymore? I mean, I don't want to.
It's not a matter.
If for sure that pageant is dead, because the thing is what we're doing by doing that is we're saying we don't want Weber State to give some of our girls a scholarship.
It's not caring. It's a matter of the process that we've gone through for many weeks, and there was a requirement that a certain number of girls had to sign up and participate, and that deadline was missed a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's been embarrassing to the girls and embarrassing to the city to have this keep coming up and having our minds changed. And at this point, it's not that we don't care, it's just that it's, you know, the process is such that it's over.
Yeah, I understand that, but it's sad that it couldn't have been said like last summer. This is the last time we're going to have this, and is this, you know, because these girls have worked really hard, and they've been given false hope, and then taken away, and then given false hope, and they've worked, and they've, you know, and I just think that it could have been done easier.
There's no question, we've been discussing this since way last summer when we started to have to address budget cuts and you know, lack of revenue and that sort of thing. We've been discussing this for months and months. There's a lot of things that are on a chopping block. The process was that the city council agreed to hold the pageant if there were enough girls to make it pay, or not make it pay, but to make it worthwhile, I guess. And that number was 8 North Ogden girls, and that was passed by a resolution.
And they've
And
had
we've just
some,
and we've not been able to get to that point. So,
yeah.
you know, I understand what you're saying, and I sympathize, especially with the young women, because I know Kelsey very, very well.
That the way it's come to an end. I wish it could be, let's do this one and see how we do, because there is some talent this year that we
set the process, but this wasn't necessarily the last pageant. You know, it could be considered for another year. But it's you know, if we do it again, it will have a number attached to it like we did this year.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you consider 7 girls, the cost of the city is $10,000 is what it's been costing us. And that's an awful lot of money per person that we've been putting out. And I'm probably more for the pageant than the rest of the council, because the judges that sit in on the individual interviews.
Yeah.
And so I got to see the inside part that other, you know, many
It's
people didn't see.
remarkable.
And yet because I served as a judge's chairman for 3 years. And so I know what the pageant's all about, and because the judge's chairman's the only one beside, we are considered, worried about the budget and trying to stretch the pennies as far as we can. And felt like if there wasn't enough interest by the girls themselves, that
They're just scared.
maybe we just needed to pass on it this year.
All right, well, then I guess it's over. Thank you for.
We reconsidered at the last meeting because we thought there was more girls, and it turned out that it appeared there was no more girls. And so, we've tried our best to figure out how to fund it. And I personally love, like you, to see the girls on the floats, and I've enjoyed seeing participants another year. So maybe you could get out and start working with some of the girls and try to help prepare so we get more girls looking at it for next year. Because I think we're open-minded for it. It's just that we felt like we needed to have enough girls that it really was a pageant instead of just, down to, 1 or 2.
But the issue of the pageant, for me, is not, it's a wonderful thing for self-esteem and to develop. The issue is, should taxpayers pay for that? And if there's a great interest, I think that it could be a wonderful thing if it was done, if people raised the money to do that, so we weren't using taxpayers' money. And I've stated before, if I was a wealthy man, I'd give you the money. But we're dealing with citizens' money, and I just don't think it's a real responsible way to spend it. I've got 5 daughters of my own, and I want their development, but I don't ask the citizens of North Ogden to pay for that. So it's a tough issue with the economy and so forth. There's people without jobs and worrying about their jobs being cut. And we take money in taxes, and we have to be real responsible in how we use them. And the bottom line is there just was not the interest there. And so you figure out how much per girl it's costing North Ogden citizens to do this with limited funds. And so with that money for a pageant, and we gave it a shot, and there just is not the interest there. And so, sorry. And I would hope that if you're really passionate about an interest, go and try to get some money for next year. If girls want to do the drill team at Weber High or cheerleading, they go do fundraisers and pay for their own. And that's kind of a way that I see we can gauge how much interest there is. And Annette has said this before, and I agree. We could perhaps help sponsor it if you guys helped raise funds to pay for it or got donations or whatever. We could have the city kind of sponsor, but you pay for it, and that's a good way to gauge how much interest there is. But even with the city paying for it, out of a city of almost 20,000 people, first time 6 girls and now 7 girls signed up, and it's budgeted $10,000 for it, and it's just not a responsible way to do it. And that's with the girls just paying very minimal amount themselves. So sorry about that. There's more prudent ways that could be spent. And I know Kelsey very well, and I've known a lot of the past contestants, and you're wonderful young ladies. But for me, I just can't justify spending taxpayer money